The hammer has fallen and Jussie Smollett has been arrested. So we've got the breaking news on this. We also have a blog talking about what it means for his indictment. For those that have just woken up or are just hearing this, Jussie Smollett last night was indicted on a felony charge for filing a false police report. It's classified under disorderly conduct, which was surprising to me. But a felony charge, it's a minimum 1 year in prison. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I've got this. I've also got this story here, which is it breaks down what this means. And another update, just for those who want the quick news, he may get suspended from the show over this, which is not really surprising. But let's start with the breaking news. Empire actor Jussie Smollett has been arrested for allegedly filing a false police report claiming he was the victim of a hate crime in Chicago, a police spokesman said early Thursday. Smollett was charged Wednesday with felony disorderly conduct for the allegedly false report he made with Chicago police on January 29th, according to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. In it, he claimed he was assaulted by two masked men who hurled racist and homophobic slurs and yelled MAGA country. Now, another very, very important update. It would appear that this is from the state's attorney's office, meaning this is a local charge, but he did receive a letter that was threatening him and using these slurs. CBS report, I believe it was CBS that reported that when that campaign didn't work, this fake letter, he escalated with a fake hate crime. The two brothers have, it is my understanding, stated to the police, he orchestrated, he told them to do this. The police found magazines at his house. Now, here's the thing. The letter had white powder on it. Hazmat was called in. Federal investigators were called in. He's been indicted on this so far, I would not be surprised to see a federal indictment following this, but I think it's going to be a slow roll. He's probably going to get in trouble, and I'd make the bet that, in a certain amount of time, he's expected in bond court today at 1:30 Central, which is 2:30 Eastern. The feds are going to come after him. There's no way. You can't send yourself a letter with white powder in it threatening yourself. And I mean, especially after this. So with federal investigators already keeping an eye on what happened to him with this letter, I have to imagine they knew what was going on when it came to this MAGA country incident and these two guys. Now these two guys, there's actual surveillance footage released by CBS 2 showing the two brothers, the Osundairo brothers, buying a ski mask and a red hat. I think this one's in the bag, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't plead out, but he's still maintaining his innocence. Now, Fox, the network in which Empire airs, stood behind him yesterday, but it now looks like they're preparing to suspend him from the show, but we'll get to that story. I want to go over what this means. So this is from Law and Crime. This is lawandcrime.com. Not long after it was announced that Empire actor Jussie Smollett was being treated as a suspect for lying to cops about this story, that two men attacked him on January 29th, 2018 in a racist and homophobic assault. Smollett has been charged with felony disorderly conduct. Chicago, so we know this. So this is a class 4 felony, but let's get to the new information. Filing a false police report is punishable by up to 3 years in prison. It should be noted. News broke on Wednesday evening that Smollett had been charged with felony disorderly conduct. Disorderly conduct in Illinois includes filing a false report of a crime. I did not know that, and I'm from Chicago. When I was a teenager, I got charged with misdemeanor, the lowest possible level disorderly conduct, because these guys were claiming I was yelling. I kid you not, I got arrested because they claimed I was yelling. I wasn't, and I beat the charge. But I didn't realize disorderly conduct went into felony territory, right? So for me, it was like a maximum of 1 month in jail if, that's throwing the book at you. And what they offered me was 20 hours of community service, and I maintained my innocence because I wasn't walking around yelling. It's the most absurd thing ever. And I won because it was ridiculous. They dismissed it. But that's what they do in court. They want you to plead out. So they'll, do community service and we'll make this all go away. And I was like, no, I'll see you. I'm going to trial. I'm not guilty. I didn't do anything wrong. They say, these are the possible punishments for class 4 felony disorderly conduct. Disorderly conduct charged as a felony may result in an increased punishment. A class 4 felony may result in a term of imprisonment for 1 to 3 years. Now, this is important because when it comes to felonies, my understanding is that in Illinois, any felony cannot be less than prison time. So if you are charged with a crime and it is a misdemeanor, the maximum is, I believe, 364 days, because once you hit that 5th, they have to bring you to prison. Before that, it's jail, right? So in Chicago, they have Cook County Jail. It's different from prison. People often mix these two up. And maybe it's just Illinois, I'm not sure, but prison is very different. So if you're charged with a felony, You're going to go to prison if convicted. A Class 3 felony can lead to a sentence of 2 to 5 years. For a Class 3 felony, the Illinois disorderly conduct laws specifically require a fine in an amount between $3,000 and $10,000. For each sentence, state law requires an additional penalty of 30 to 120 hours of community service, if available in the local area. Now, I'd like to throw some criticism towards the Chicago police just because they have a bad history. But, criticism aside, like I've had cops pull me over at gunpoint, kick my door in, screaming just without a warrant. So there's bad stuff for sure. But I'll say this, pointing out there's some pretty screwed up BS sometimes in the Chicago police force. Jussie Smollett picked the wrong damn city to stage this in. There were some activists who were coming into the NATO protest in 2012, and they secretly filmed the police, and the police were saying very embarrassing things that they were going to break the law, they were going to beat these guys up. In Illinois, it is illegal to record someone without their permission. It's called felony eavesdropping. There's a broadcasting exemption, but what these young activists did was felony eavesdropping. But for some reason, they didn't get charged with felony eavesdropping. No, it was more interesting than that, because it was about a week or so later, the police raided the apartment where they were staying and accused them of terrorism. And they were charged with terrorism on the state level. The feds didn't want to get involved. Chicago, particularly, is notorious for its mob history. Pay to play, corruption. I kid you not, I'm going to swear, do not fuck with Chicago. These people, they're crazy. Jussie Smollett screwed up royally by choosing Chicago as the place to do this. But I guess, they filmed Empire there. Big mistake. There are some places that might be a little bit more lenient on you if they bust you in this manner, but goddamn, did he screw this one up. They are going, I'd be willing to make the bet. Look, Chicago put 24 detectives on this. They knew. And they're going to bring this dude down hard. It's a felony charge. They're not walking away from this. Chicago doesn't play around, man. Me and my buddies, we were covering the NATO protests. We got surrounded by like 12 vehicles at gunpoint. Pulled us out of the car, took our credit card numbers, interrogated us, took our private information, like our personal information. Yeah, don't mess with Chicago. I'm not saying it's good that the Chicago law enforcement does this, just that they're not ones to fuck around. And Smollett, whew. Skeptics called the story outlandish. The story did fall apart as police started to probe inconsistencies. ABC 7 Chicago reported sources saying police suspected the attack was a hoax. We get all this stuff. I don't want to go too long on this because I do want to make sure we cover more of the latest news. Empire producers consider suspending Jussie Smollett, exclusive from Variety. Fox is considering removing Smollett from production on Empire. Sources close to the production told Variety that producers are weighing whether to suspend the actor after he was charged Wednesday in Chicago with filing a false police report. A spokesperson for 20th Century Fox Television, which produces the series, declined to comment. Smollett's status on the show may change amid a fluid legal situation. Now, for those that haven't been following the news, we learned that his scenes were cut from I believe it was the final episode. This was TMZ saying that he had 9 scenes. It was cut down to, I think, 4, and these were ensemble scenes, so he wasn't getting a direct play, and he had a big musical number, and that was gone too. So there was a lot of speculation he was being removed from the show very slowly, but Fox did stand behind him up until he got indicted on a felony charge. So, and then I think they go over a lot of the basic details that we already know. They announced that he was being indicted. And I do have some other tweets that I do want to cover really quick too. Don Lemon in this video, I'm not going to play the CNN videos because, I don't want CNN, coming copywriting me. But Ryan Savadra says, Don Lemon panics over Jussie Smollett's felony charge, saying Sean Hannity is going to eat Jussie Smollett's lunch every single second. Tucker Carlson is going to eat Smollett's lunch every single second. The president of the United States is going to eat his lunch. Listen, Don Lemon, he also has this video, and this is also from Ryan Savadra, but Carpe Donctum says, I'm at a loss for words. What exactly are you saying here, Lemon? This is a different video where Don Lemon, he basically says that if Jussie Smollett had better PR and better advice, maybe he would have won in the court of public opinion. It's like, hold on, man. It seems like there are activists, and I'm assuming Don Lemon's friends with Smollett, he was talking about being on the phone with them. There are activists that are more worried that they look bad than the fact that this dude staged a hate crime, sent 24 detectives and tons of other resources, hazmat resources, potentially, while people are being killed in Chicago. They're more concerned with looking bad than the truth. And they're actually, Don Lemon on TV saying, if only he had better advice. What do you mean? Advice for what? The dude, is been charged with a felony for a hoax hate crime. Okay, there's no excusing this. This is not a matter of maybe he could have looked better and won the court of public opinion. Dude committed a crime and could have got people hurt. This could have triggered riots. Okay, there could have been people in the street demanding justice. These guys don't exist, presumably. There's one more honorable mention. I want to throw some shade over at GQ real quick. This story from the 29th, the racist, homophobic attack on Jussie Smollett is far-right America's endgame. Uh-oh. You mean it's the far left's endgame? Hoax hate crimes to frame people, to produce garbage trash. I'm not even going to call this journalism, okay? It is trash. And I love this. He says, when one of the most famous black and gay men in America is not safe, the message is clearer than it's ever been. Oh, he was safe. He staged it, presumably. I have to say presumably because I don't know at what point we're clear to say it in terms of a legal sense. But wait, what's this? Editor's note? The story is fast moving and we're keeping an eye on the news as it develops. When this piece was originally written, we were operating with the then set of facts, as documented by official police reports. Well, if you knew how journalism worked, you could have followed the lead of the fantastic reporting from local Chicago news, where they didn't write scathing op-eds about Trump and the far right in their end game. No, they said he allegedly said this. Even the mayor said allegedly. You had a lot of good journalists playing the game right. This is not journalism. This is activism. This is clickbait trash. And you know what? You know what the scariest thing is? The worst part of this is? This piece already generated traffic and made money for them. They don't care if it's fake. They're not going to take it down. They slap a little notice on it, and the story can continue to generate traffic. Welcome to media in 2019. Stick around. I got another video coming up at 1 p.m., and I will see you then.